Blackie Lawless, the man who once bit the heads off raw meat on stage for shock value, sat down for an interview and casually confirmed the band runs on backing tracks. Not enhanced, not augmented, plain old backing tracks. He framed it as a favor to the fans. Said he wants people to hear the album the way it was recorded. Orchestration and all. Sweet sentiment. Except, that's not what your granddad paid ticket prices for in 1984. Meanwhile, a former W.A.S.P drummer from the band's actual glory years has said flatly that nobody used tape back then. You sang it, or you didn't. Add years of Lawless, touring through a herniated disc and a cracked vertebra, 8 epidurals just to survive a tour, and you get a legend gamely trying to out-argue his own spine. He's earned rest. Instead, he's out there arguing philosophy about tape decks. Somebody take the microphone gently. Don Dokken's live shows have become a running joke. Missed notes, sitting down mid-song, and arriving fashionably late to his own gig. Normal band with normal decline. There's normal, awkward silence about it. But not Dokken. When fans complained online, Don responded, on record, that they could kiss his ass. Then he doubled down years later, essentially daring anyone unhappy with his voice to simply stop buying tickets. There's something almost admirable about a man refusing to apologize for physics. He's been through real health battles, cancer treatment, spinal surgery, a walker, and on top of that, a wheelchair. And none of that is a punchline. But defiance isn't the same as capability, Uncle. The fans aren't the villains here. They're just noticing what everybody in the room is noticing. Don, you don't have to storm off the stage. You could just walk off it. On your own terms. Once and for all. This band's real legacy might be the courtroom, not the catalog, Uncle. Drummer Bobby Blotzer spent years suing his own former bandmates over who actually gets to legally call themselves Ratt. Lost, appealed, and lost again. All while publicly branding the winning lineup 3 bland mice in the press. That's not a lyric. That's a press release with venom in it. Singer Stephen Pearcy, meanwhile, had already lost the rights to his own band's name once before, back in 2000, before clawing his way back in. These days, only Pearcy still tours, under any Ratt-adjacent banner at all, performing the old catalog, more or less solo, with hired guns behind him, so the band that gave us Round and Round spent longer fighting over the trademark than most bands spend writing an album. At some point, the lawyers made more noise than the guitars did. Maybe it's time to let the gavel do the encore instead. It's about the rap sheet, not the singing. And that's genuinely rare on this list. Marq Torien is the sole constant member of BulletBoys since 1987. And while the band's still out there gigging regularly, the headlines haven't exactly been about the set list. Torien's been arrested twice for failing to pay child support. Once literally minutes after walking off stage in Tampa in 2015. Echoing an earlier arrest back in 2009. There's also a well-documented bus incident involving a tour manager, and old footage that resurfaced and went semi-viral again just this year. We're not here to mock anyone's personal struggles. That's not the bit. But when the tour bus generates more news than the tour itself, the brand has a bigger problem than aging vocal cords. Smooth Up in Ya was a genuinely fun single. The ongoing legal drama attached to the man singing it, less so. Maybe retire the name and let the one hit rest in peace. Guitarist Mark Kendall, the band's only remaining original member, announced publicly in late 2025 that he's fighting stage 4 kidney cancer. He kept touring anyway, right through the diagnosis, including a Monsters of Rock cruise date already booked for 2026. That's not a joke. That's just a genuinely tough situation, and we respect the fight. Original singer Jack Russell died in 2024 after years of poor health. Following a bitter decade-plus legal battle with Kendall over who even owned the band name in the first place. The current frontman, meanwhile, has zero personal connection to the band's actual 1980s heyday whatsoever. And underneath all of it sits the station nightclub fire of 2003. A tragedy tied to the band's own stage pyrotechnics that claimed 100 lives. Nobody's laughing at any of that. What we will gently question is the decision to keep booking cruise ships through a cancer diagnosis. Rest truly isn't retreat here. In 2026, Nikki Sixx floated the idea that the return of the Carnival of Sins tour might genuinely be the band's last, telling fans they'll need real time off once the contracted shows wrap. It sounds definitive, except this is the same outfit that called their 2015 farewell tour final, signed a legal contract promising never to tour again, and then found their way back on stage anyway less than a decade later. So forgive the audience for treating last tour from this particular band the way you'd treat a weather forecast. Technically informed, rarely accurate. Sixx himself admits he's never been good at doing just one thing at a time, which is fair, but also not exactly a retirement mission statement. Vince, Tommy, and John 5 are still delivering the spectacle. We just don't believe the goodbye anymore. Cry wolf enough times, Uncle. And eventually nobody shows up for the actual wolf. No matter how badly a singer wants it, some voices weren't built to last forever. And Miljenko Matijevic built Steelheart's entire identity around a 4-octave range most singers wouldn't attempt once, let alone sustain across decades. She's gone, and I'll never let you go. Both life or die on notes almost nobody else can safely reach. He's also already survived one genuinely brutal on-stage accident earlier in his career. A serious injury that took years of real recovery before he could perform again. And yet here he is in 2026, still working small rooms, casinos, and theater legends bills, chasing notes that were extreme even when he was 30. The math isn't controversial. Vocal cords age. Like everything else, nobody's questioning the talent that got him here. We're questioning whether those specific songs at that specific altitude belong on a stage built for a 62-year-old rather than a studio built for a 25-year-old. Let the record hit those notes instead. This one's quieter. Just a band running on a dead man's catalog. No scandal or lawsuit required. Original frontman Kevin Dubrow died back in 2007, and drummer Frankie Banali, who kept the band going in his memory for over a decade, passed away himself in 2020. That's not one departed member, that's the entire classic engine. Gone. Current singer Jizzy Pearl has cycled in and out of the lineup since 2013, doing an admittedly solid job on songs that were never written for his voice in the first place. The touring circuit these days is mostly county fairs and casino stages, cashing checks on Come On Feel the Noise for crowds who may not clock that literally nobody currently on stage played on the original record. There's nothing dramatic to report, which is almost the saddest part. Quiet Riot didn't crash and burn, it just kept driving after everyone who built the car got out. Here's a rare one, fellas. The evidence genuinely doesn't support a hit piece. Mark Slaughter's documented vocal range is legitimately one of the most extreme in the entire genre. And there's real ongoing debate among fans about how much of it survives life at 61 years old. Dedicated forum threads litigating every single high note like it's a Supreme Court case. But the honest reviews out there are mixed, not damning. Some nights the range is reportedly still there. Other nights, the sets have quietly shrunk, and the vocal effects have quietly grown louder in the mix, which tends to be the industry's polite way of saying we're covering for something. So we're not calling for a retirement party here. Exactly. We're asking the question the fan forums are already asking. How much longer can that specific voice do that specific thing night after night on a casino stage in July? Nobody knows yet. That's the whole point. We're including this one anyway, fans. Mostly because the format demands a full 10 entries. Ty May Down is the sole founding member left standing in Faster Pussycat, and pretty much everyone else in the lineup has rotated through steadily over roughly 3 decades now. Normally, that's exactly our cue to complain about tribute band energy and diluted legacies, except the live reviews are consistently strong, and Down himself keeps getting praised as sounding genuinely great. Still, all these years later. So there's no scandal to dig up, there is no vocal collapse to point at, and no lawsuit to snicker about. Just one guy, one name, and 4 decades of everyone else cycling through behind him, apparently working out fine. Maybe the real lesson of this whole list is that a rotating lineup isn't automatically a problem. Sometimes that's just what it means to be in a working band. Faster Pussycat, you're officially off the hook this time. Anyway. And there you have it. 10 hair metal names still hitting the road. For wildly different reasons and wildly different levels of dignity, intact. Some of these guys should genuinely rest. A couple, honestly, didn't deserve to be dragged onto this list at all. That's the truth about a scene built on excess. The line between still got it and should really stop moves depending on who's holding the mic. So tell me, who'd you add and who did we get wrong? And drop it in the comments. And if hair metal still lifts in your soul, hit subscribe.